What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, thanks to the wiki team at Robosen, we're going to be checking out their Transformers auto-converting G1 Megatron. Now, when it comes to this guy's alt mode, Robosen have decided to transform Megatron into a full-blown Cybertronian tank, which I think is practical because there was no way we were going to be seeing Gun Megatron from this design, but when it does come to the tank mode, it looks incredible. Not only is it massive when it comes to scale, but it's also been fully decked out front side to back in this pretty sweet gunmetal grey, which, I won't lie to you guys, kind of throws me directly back to the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron TV show. But enough about how great the tank mode looks, let's see what it can actually do. So, by combining Megatron with the power of the Allspark, we slowly begin to bring Megatron to life. Packed on the inside of the fusion cannon is this really awesome LED, which much like Godzilla, slowly begins to power up, which I thought was a really sweet detail.
I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons.
And if you guys thought the tank mode looked awesome before, just wait until you check it out with all of those LEDs. Damn, does he look straight up fire. Again, appears to be this time taking a lot of inspiration from some of those High Moon Studio games where they also kind of had this purple energon veining effect. I'm also in love with how the front barrel of the cannon kind of extends outwards. And by the way, guys, packed on the inside is a full-blown missile, which at your command, you can order Megatron to annihilate the crap out of the Autobots with. I also think it's really cool how this guy's packing some full-blown rubber treads, which you can make use of utilizing the voice command feature, although in order to maximize their use, I think it is best to kind of use the app. You can kind of turn that into a full-blown remote control, so you can have Megatron dashing about in pretty much any way that you want, crushing the crap out of the Autobot opponents. The only thing which I maybe would have liked to have seen from the tank mode would have been a rotatable turret. I think that would have been really cool, but considering that this guy is an actual transformer and the turret is formed out of the arms, I imagine from a design perspective, it would have been near enough impossible without potentially compromising the look of the robot mode, which, speaking of, guys, would you believe me if I said that the tank mode isn't even half of what makes this guy so freaking awesome? So now let's see what kind of a tyrannical leader this tank mode is packing on the inside. Hey Megatron!
What's wrong?
Transform!
Decepticons.
And that transformation right there is straight up nuts. I think alongside Grimlock, that conversion has to be by far one of the most intricate which we have so far seen from Robosen. There are some really awesome geek out moments for myself. One of those would be where the chest piece kind of retracts and then the Decepticon insignia erratically flips around. I thought that was really cool. I also really like how the LEDs of Megatron's eyes slowly begin to illuminate as the head reverses around also, and I think it's pretty cool how he does go from being quite a compact tank to easily one of the largest robots which we've so far seen from Robosen. And when it does come to robot mode, what a fantastic design. Much like the tank mode, this also does appear to be taking inspiration from a previous Megatron, that being the Combiner Wars version, especially in the way the tank treads kind of stack on the back. Overall, it's just a great blend of the old and the new. The only issue which I do take with him overall would be the look of the fusion cannon. So unfortunately, during the transformation, it doesn't reverse around, and I think had it done so, it maybe would have looked a little better, because from the front, it kind of comes across as being a little disproportionate, and it's mainly just because the back of the turret in the tank mode now becomes the front of the fusion cannon. But enough of me talking, now let's check out what Megatron has to say for himself. So, hey Megatron!
What's wrong?
Introduce yourself!
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Greetings, humans. I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. You will do exactly as I said. Now surrender.
Yes, Lord Megatron, I will obey each and every one of your commands, but as I'm sure you guys heard, that is in fact the voice of the original actor who played Megatron in the G1 series, Frank Welker, which I thought was badass. With each and every single one of Robosen's releases, they appear to try their best to bring to life the original G1 characters. Hey Megatron!
What's wrong?
Fusion Cannon!
A pleasure to see you again, Prime. Now you witness the power of my fusion cannon. Take no prisoners.
And that is sick. I'm in love with how Megatron at the end kind of powers up the fusion cannon for one mighty blast to again single-handedly annihilate the Autobot forces. That is really cool. At the moment, Robosen I think are killing it when it comes to the movements of their robotics, but let's check out one more at least when it comes here to voice commands. So, hey Megatron.
What's wrong?
Victory. And that crazy ass maniacal laugh I think is just so cool to kind of hear that in front of myself while the robot is performing an action. I just think it's absolutely surreal. So that is definitely by far one of my favourite voice commands, and there are countless more commands that you can give this guy, although now we're going to turn to a brand new feature specifically for this Robosen Megatron, and that would be touch control. So Megatron in total possesses 2 pressure points, one just above the chest unit and then one which is pretty much on his ass, and I won't lie to you guys, it is a pretty sweet feature. So first of all, let's see what junk in the trunk Megatron is packing.
What's wrong?
And I think it's awesome how he literally shrugs you off. You know, the way the chest piece and the shoulders begin to move simultaneously is really awesome. But now let's whack that chest piece.
Watch it, you fool.
And then finally, there was no way that I could round off this segment without checking out one of the best voice commands you can give this guy. So check this out. Hey Megatron.
What's wrong?
Great villain.
I am Megatron. I will win by any means, by any cost.
But now we're going to turn our attention to the app control. So first of all, I do very quickly want to run through this guy's accessories, because again, these are really where these begin to come into play. So to begin with, we see the return of the Meteor Hammer, or of course, as us fans of the original G1 show know it as, the OG G1 Energon Axe, which is a really cool accessory, easily my favourite out of the bunch. The next accessory this guy's packing is again another one which does have a slightly strange name. This is the Star Sword, although personally, I like to just call it the Energon Sword, but this is an amazingly detailed accessory, although one word of warning that I would issue to you guys for both of the accessories would be that during installation, make sure that you twist the end off and that you don't pull it clean off, because that was a mistake that I almost made whilst checking out the instructions. They are a little vague. So now let's check out the app control. The second you smack that bad boy open, you will be greeted with 3 different options: action, create and mini theater. First of all, we're going to check out what actions lay inside. So you have an option between control, action center and download. As I kind of alluded to previously, this is where you can literally remote control Megatron, have full creative freedom over what moves this guy performs. So let's check out his walk cycle.
Out of my way, fool.
You can then also issue the command for Megatron to begin blasting away with his iconic fusion cannon. You can then have him slicing and dicing the crap out of the Autobots with his Energon sword. And then finally, you can have him swinging his mace around like there is no damn tomorrow. And that is by far one of my favourite actions when it comes here to the remote control. You know, the sound effects too are super impressive. You can literally hear the ground crushing as that Energon mace is smacking into it. So overall, remote control is awesome, and you can also control Megatron to transform, which is too cool not to do.
Decepticons.
Damn, the sound of that fusion cannon, I think it's sick. Now, despite the control center being an absolute blast, I've got to keep it real with you guys. I really think it's the action center where this Megatron truly comes out to play. So let's run through a few of them. My personal favorite by far has to be the Tyrant pose.
Peace through tyranny.
And that is just so damn impressive. This guy's powered by a whopping 36 servo motors. So to see how dynamic he is, I think is just straight up mental. Now let's check out Open Fire.
Do as I command. Fire! Show no mercy.
Having Megatron absolutely blast the crap out of the Autobots I don't think will ever get old, and again, those fusion cannon maneuvers are just straight up mental. Now for the next command, we are going to tap Conspiracy. Now for this, you are definitely going to want to whack out the Energon Mace and the Sword, because I can't lie to you guys, this is by far my favourite out of the bunch.
I used too much power against the Autobots. No more Optimus Prime. Grant me mercy, I beg of you. It is over. Optimus Prime has been defeated.
That is so awesome, and he's literally ripped right out of the 86 movie, so what a sick throwback. But now we're going to turn to a command which I think suits Megatron perfectly. We have Conquer.
Exactly. I will build the ultimate weapon to defeat the Autobots, to control the planet, to conquer the universe.
And to kind of give Megatron's weapons one last chance to shine, let's smack Energon's sword.
Try and stop me, Prime. Nothing can stop me now. Not even you.
And the list for the no weapons commands are just endless, and right now this is only the beta version of the app, so I really can't wait to see what tricks Robosen will have up their sleeves once they are ready to hit the launch button on this guy. But again, let's see what this guy's made of, and I'm hoping it's of some sterner stuff, because we are now going to whack out the King of Boxing. Now, when it comes to the final two functions of the app, we are left with Create and Mini Theater. So, Create is where Megatron can become fully programmable. You can either do manual or block-based programming, and this is literally where you can puppeteer Megatron into your own personalized commands. And then the final function of the app would be the Mini Theater. Now, inside here is both solo play and multiplayer. Because right now I'm dealing with a beta version of the app, Robosen are still tweaking it. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to show off the actual commands. Although, if I were to imagine how it would go, I'm pretty certain that when it comes around to multiplayer, you'll be able to have Megatron slicing and dicing the crap out of Optimus Prime, which I think is going to look mental. And you will then be able to directly recreate some of the awesome showdowns which we did see in the original G1 show. Overall, Robosen Megatron is an absolute masterpiece when it comes to engineering. The amount of technology crammed inside this guy, I think, is unimaginable. This guy, as I mentioned, is packing a total of 36 servo motors, and you can definitely tell because the movements this guy is able to pull off are seriously just as realistic as to what we have come to expect from both Grimlock and Bumblebee. There has definitely been a huge level of progression between this release and their original Optimus Prime, and I think it definitely shows. Megatron looks amazing in tank mode, but even better when it comes around to robot mode. The amount of commands that you can not only issue via voice control but then by app control, I think are nuts, and most of them by far are some of Robosen's most impressive work to date. Now when it comes to availability, the pre-order price for this piece will be £849 if ordered before May 26, and then after that it will then increase to £1,100. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts down below, and until my next video, transform and roll out!
I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons.